Welcome, mate. I'll start along. Hi everybody and welcome to Sports Fans TV. This is Malk here. I'm just here talking about boxing. So look, it was amazing last night, as you can see from the picture. It was some good fights last night, good fights. But the main one was Josh Kelly against David Avanesyan. But we'll get into that in a bit. But let's talk about the situation here, right? Boxing, just like any other sport, has been struggling to meet all of the demands because should have been fine in January. There wasn't really any fights in January, but February we've seen a few fights going on. Even there's some other fights that are supposed to happen. Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin, that was supposed to happen in the next few weeks, but that's been moved now to Gibraltar. So it's all a bit mishmash. But last night was good entertainment. So just a quick one really on what happened with a couple of the other fights. So entertaining guy beat Charlton quite straightforwardly, got the towel thrown in, and then he called out to Conor Benn. Conor Benn was there presenting, which is fair enough, which is good, and he called him out, but really Marku is not in the same league as Conor Benn, and Conor Benn said that even so that was an entertaining fight. As a fan of boxing, very, very nice to see. What else happened? There was other fights: Davis Jr. against Valenzuela and Fisher against Gordon, Jill against Suarez. So all relatively straightforward fights, all very low-key fights. There are no real sparklers there. People just kind of getting a few notches on their record, really. There's nothing really of major note to worry about with that. So yeah, it was interesting to see what's happening. But really, let's talk about the Josh Kelly fight. So it was interesting because Josh Kelly, right? Let's go through it. He has got a fairly small record. So looking at there, because he's only had really 12 fights. He obviously lost yesterday. But before that, he's not really being anyone massively of note. And so Josh Kelly, very fast hands, very, very particularly massive record. He'd been Olympian, and that's kind of the thing that was his big thing. He won the Commonwealth welterweight and boxer. He fought in the Summer Olympics 2016. And the 2015 European Games, and he won a bronze. But overall, he'd had an okay record, but there's a lot of hype around him rather than actual real meat on the bones, I'd say. Something where you could say, right, he's fought some quality and he's come Mr. Conor Benn. So interesting stuff between the two of them, which is fair enough. But overall, nothing really of note there. So look, they fought Josh Kelly and David Avanesyan. Avanesyan's got a very different record. Avanesyan's been around a long time in the Josh Kelly fight, and look, he's a good fighter. Very, very, very good fighter. Exceptional fighter, in fact. Very strong. So it's an interesting one with him as well because he has got Armenian parents, but he was born in a kind of disputed area between them and Russia. So very interesting stuff. And I've got a friend, Vartan, who is a Armenian. So it was quite interesting that a guy who was Armenian parents, born in Russia, and he had a British Cockney trainer, which was very interesting indeed. But they got some notable people like Shane Mosley, which is a guy who's beaten a few people. He's beaten Amir Khan and people like this in his time. Very good fights. And look, it was one of those fights where it could have gone only one way. It was quite interesting for me. Look, Josh Kelly had all the heart in the world, and I commend him for taking that fight. His trainers apparently said that he wasn't even ready for the fight, and yet his manager said, yeah, look, you should think about, really, is this the right time? It's early, remember, it's early in his career. He's only just started. Most people don't fight someone at that level until they've at least 15, 20 fights in. But look, it was brave of him. But David Avanesyan was a completely different level. Completely different level. It was very interesting to see the situation that unfolded, because, let's be honest, it was tough to see Josh Kelly throwing punches, and the reality was that Avanesyan was just walking through them. He wasn't even showing any signs of tiring. It was hurting him. Nothing. It was tough. And Josh Kelly's got fast hands, but we know fast hands, it doesn't necessarily win the day. You only have to ask Amir Khan that. Amir won a few titles, but he lost a few titles as well. And the thing about it is that if you can't hurt your opponent, then long term they're going to come back, and in the later rounds they're going to take you out, which is what happened here. It was tough. So Josh Kelly, as a fan, I thought it'd be difficult for him, but I was surprised that he didn't hit and hurt David Avanesyan. David Avanesyan's smaller than him, so Josh Kelly had the reach advantage. He was throwing loads and loads and loads and loads of punches, but it just wasn't enough at all. It was very surprising. And look, like most of the guys that I see fight from Eastern Europe, or it's hard as nails, and very difficult to put them down. But what happened as well, which was quite interesting, and even Conor Benn talked about it, and you saw it just unfold, was the fact that in the later rounds, I won't say in the later rounds, it's like the 6th round he lost, Josh Kelly, but in the kind of from the 5th round he started to blow out, which was really weird. I don't know if usually that happens if you're not at the right weight, so maybe he needs to go up a weight, which Conor Benn talked about. But yeah, it was very surprising for me that he too easily, and from that you see the situation. He started to lose power. So even though his punches weren't hurting, even though he was throwing so many punches, they weren't hurting the guy, and because of that, when he ran out of power, when he ran out of steam, the guy just took him out. It was one of those tough ones. And also as well, which was really, we don't even know what happened, but he got clipped around the side of the head, and there's blood everywhere. So that obviously didn't help. But the towel came in on the 6th. I think Josh Kelly can come again, and he can go against the Conor Benns and all these type of guys, but Conor Benn is a very powerful puncher. Obviously, it's going to take him time to get anywhere near what his dad did. And Conor Benn is a name. He's a name. That's why Marku called him out, Conor Benn. That's why everybody calls out Conor Benn, because everybody wants the colour of an exceptional champion like Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn, if you don't know, was a middleweight champion for many years, and he was that good at the WBC, holding that belt for so long, that the WBC actually asked him to run the belt. That's how good he is. So, when you got that situation, a dad who's a legend, kind of emulate that. We've seen with Chris Eubank Jr. is in the game, but again, he hasn't really hit the heights of his dad. Conor Benn, we'll see what happens. It's very early days, so it's hard to say what he will do and how he'll do it. But at the moment, unbeaten record. But for Josh Kelly to take him on, maybe too much. It's a tough one, because if you think about it, if you can't punch through somebody, what I found interesting is that Josh Kelly's throwing loads of punches, bam, 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 but Avanesyan just kept going and going and going and going. The punches weren't even affecting him, and that'll be the same 100% with people who have got big, heavy fists like Conor Benn. Very difficult to take those guys down if you can't throw the punches which are going to make the difference. And so for me, it's a difficult one. We'll see what happens. But overall, I would say that it's going to be very difficult for Kelly to get any further. For Kelly to win against the big boys, you've got to be able to hurt somebody. It's going to be difficult for him to do it. He's got to regroup. He's got to figure it out. That's fine. But overall, I think, think about David Avanesyan. He's a European level. The people at world level, look at these two legends right here. You don't want to be taking these boys on unless you can punch, because they've got power and they can throw lots of punches, a lot of punches. So look what we got here. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. We know what he can do. He's taken out a lot of people, and Terence Crawford as well. Terence Crawford cleaned out Amir Khan, completely sent him to sleep. And Errol Spence Jr. Has done the same as well. These boys are exceptional. He took out Danny Garcia last, Spence Jr. And this is coming back from a massive car crash which could have ended his career. He flipped his Ferrari over and over again and just lost control of it. I don't know what he was doing, but it looked bad, the whole thing. So look, it was one of those situations where both of them are exceptional talents. They need to fight each other, to be honest, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. But Josh Kelly, if he can't beat David Avanesyan, he's definitely not going to beat these boys. These boys are, look at them, they're pretty impressive. But getting back to Josh Kelly, so Josh Kelly, what do I think as a fan from what I saw it's going to take? There's going to take a few things. It's going to take either for him to change weight. If he's struggling with the weight and he's struggling to get his power off because he feels weak, then he has to honestly think, is this the right weight for him? Because the fact of the matter is this, that these guys are not gonna get any easier. If you can't beat this guy, who's experienced and powerful and didn't feel your punches, then the Terence Crawfords, the Errol Spence Jr. walk through you as well, and it's going to be even more painful. The fight was stopped by a towel, which says all you need to know about how bad. For me, that's how I see it. Josh Kelly has to regroup. Either go up a weight if he hasn't got the strength and the power to get through, or he needs to build up some strength. He needs to do some real strength training, because it's all good throwing the punch, bam, 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 as fast as you can. But if they're not hurting, then you're wasting your time at this level. Honestly, it's not going to be nice. So that's my personal thought on Josh Kelly. If he does, it goes back to regroups, figures out how he's going to get it right, then maybe he can go against the Conor Benns of the world. I think this may be a step too far, these two. I think it's way too hard to take these boys on. It'd take quite a few years to be at that level. But look, Josh Kelly can come again. He can come again, and he can make a difference. He can do great stuff at the English level, and try and come again at David Avanesyan. Avanesyan is in a different ball. He's probably at the peak of his career. So David Avanesyan, look, how old is he? 52. So he's at the peak of his career, and I think this will do no harm to his ranking. I don't know if he'll get a fight against the big boys, but it's possible. It's possible he could get a fight against them, but it's not impossible that he could just stay at European level and maybe get one of the silver belts or something like that. I don't know if he wants to fight these boys anyway. We don't know where he's at. But I think David Avanesyan's got, at the moment, a better chance of challenging, not winning, of course not. He can't beat these guys, but of challenging these two. So these are the boys that we want to see. And look, I'll love to hear your thoughts on the matter. If you think that in some way that David Avanesyan could overcome these two guys, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. I don't think so. I don't even know if these two, if they'll be like Triple G against Canelo, these two fighting. I think the first fight would be something like a draw or something like that. I think it'll be a crazy fight. Can't wait. Hopefully they do fight soon enough. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, either way, can't see it going any other way, where there'll be a draw the first one. Going back to the boys here, Josh Kelly, go up a weight or do some serious strength training. He needs to get it sorted out. As far as David Avanesyan. Look, he's done fantastically well. He should try and get one more shot at the title. Will he get that shot? I don't know. I don't know if he will. He's obviously got a strap at European level, so he can quite easily tickle on there and make some money from that. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter anyway. I've talked a bit about these guys. We've looked at them, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Well, where does it go? Where does Avanesyan go? Where does Josh Kelly go? Marku, look, he needs to just keep building up, and the other guy as well. They've still got a lot of work to do. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Josh Kelly, like I said, I wish you all the best. I hope you get a good recovery. I know he needed oxygen at the end of the fight, which is pretty intense. But I think this is the fight we want to see next. That's the next fight coming up. Conor Benn, you're going to be fighting some people. So let's see how he does. I don't know if anyone saw the Broner fight as well. Broner at his best, talking a lot, won by points. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. I'm going to be talking with a friend tomorrow, talking with Tez as always tomorrow about it as well. So let us know your thoughts on the matter, what you think of these fights that have happened. Conor Benn, hope he does a good job. Hope he continues to emulate his dad, but it's going to take a while. See if you can get another title fight. And Josh Kelly, hope you recover well. Don't let it dishearten you. Keep going, fighting, doing the best you can. And let me know your thoughts on the matter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. So leave some comments. And like I said, I'll be talking tomorrow night with another friend about what's happened. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you next time when there's another fight. Hopefully next week. There'll be plenty to talk about then. So thanks again, and speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.